I stared at the Bloomberg article on my screen, a bitter smile playing on my lips. The headline screamed, NXTCHS8ARES SOAR. Early NVSTORs see 5,000% RETUNS. 5 years ago, I had owned 10,000 shares of NexTech. 10,000 shares that my parents had sold without my permission to fund my brother's ridiculous cryptocurrency startup. Those shares would be worth exactly $52.4 million today. My phone buzzed. Another message from my mother. Sophia, please. We need to talk about the investment opportunity your brother found. He says it's guaranteed returns this time. I deleted the message without responding. They hadn't learned anything. 5 years ago, I was fresh out of college working as a junior software developer at NexTech, a small but promising tech startup. The company had offered stock options as part of the compensation package. While other graduates chased higher salaries at established companies, I saw potential in NexTech's innovative AI technology. My family thought I was crazy. "You're working for peanuts," my father would say at every family dinner. "Look at your brother David. He's got real ambition." David, my older brother by 3 years, was their idea of success. He had an MBA from an elite school and talked endlessly about becoming the next tech billionaire. Never mind that he had never actually built anything. Never mind that his business plans were just rehashed versions of whatever was trending on tech Twitter that week. I still remember the day everything fell apart. I was at work, deep in code, when my phone started buzzing with notifications. Email after email from my bank, confirming stock transfers I hadn't authorized. My heart stopped when I saw the numbers. All my NexTech shares, every single one, had been transferred out of my account. I called my bank in a panic. "Those are my shares. I never authorized any transfers." The bank representative's voice was apologetic but firm. "The transfers were authorized using your power of attorney, Ms. Chen. Everything appears to be in order." Power of attorney. The documents my parents had convinced me to sign 2 years ago, claiming they needed it for tax purposes while I was working abroad for a few months. My hands shaking, I dialed my father's number. "Dad, what did you do?" "Sophia." His voice was calm, almost condescending. "David needed seed funding for his new venture. Those shares of yours were just sitting there, doing nothing. This is a family decision." "Family decision?" I nearly screamed. "That was my money, my shares. You had no right." "No right?" He cut me off. "We're your parents. We know what's best. David's startup is guaranteed to succeed. He's going to make us all rich. Those shares you had, they're worthless anyway. That company you work for will never amount to anything." I hung up and immediately called my brother. "Hey sis," David answered, his voice smug. "I guess you've heard about the shares. Don't worry, once my crypto platform takes off, I'll pay you back double." "How could you do this?" My voice shook with rage. "Those shares were mine." "Oh, come on, don't be dramatic. I needed the seed money and you weren't using those shares anyway. Besides, NexTech is a joke. My platform is going to revolutionize the entire financial system." I closed my eyes, trying to control my breathing. "How much did you get for my shares?" "About $200,000. Pretty good for worthless paper, right?" He laughed. "Look, I've got investors waiting. We'll talk later." I sat at my desk, staring at my computer screen through tears of anger and betrayal. $200,000. They had sold my feature for $200,000. That evening, I went straight to a lawyer's office. But I quickly learned that fighting my family would be nearly impossible. The power of attorney was ironclad. They had acted legally, if not ethically. "You could sue," the lawyer said, "but it would be expensive and messy. And given that they're your parents," I left his office feeling defeated but determined. I would never let my family control my life again. The next day, I withdrew every penny from my joint accounts, opened new ones at a different bank, and began looking for my own apartment. No more living at home. No more family dinners. No more letting them have any say in my decisions. "You're overreacting," my mother said when I told her I was moving out. "We did this for your own good. David knows what he's doing." But David didn't know what he was doing. Within 6 months, his cryptocurrency platform collapsed spectacularly. The money from my shares? Gone. All of it. "It was just a temporary setback," my father insisted. "David's already working on his next big idea." I focused on my work at NexTech, throwing myself into every project. I took on extra responsibilities, worked late nights, learned everything I could about the business. If I couldn't own shares anymore, I would make myself indispensable in other ways. Then something unexpected happened. Mark Foster, NexTech's CEO, called me into his office one afternoon. "Sophia," he said, studying me across his desk, "I heard about what happened with your shares." I froze. I hadn't told anyone at work about my family's betrayal. "The legal department flagged the transfer," he explained. "Large block of employee shares moving at once." It raised some eyebrows. "I'm sorry," I said quickly. "It was a family situation. It won't affect my work." He held up a hand. "I'm not concerned about your work. In fact, I've been very impressed with your contributions lately. That AI optimization protocol you developed last month? Brilliant." I sat straighter, unsure where this was going. "I have a proposition for you," Mark continued. "I'm starting a new project. Something separate from NexTech, but using similar technology. I need someone with your skills and dedication." He pushed a folder across the desk. Inside was a business plan for a new company, Quantum Solutions. "I'm offering you a ground floor opportunity," he said. "No shares to steal this time. Instead, you'd be a founding partner. Your name on the incorporation documents. Your vision helping to shape the company." I stared at him, hardly daring to believe what I was hearing. "Why me?" Mark leaned back in his chair. "Because you understand the technology better than anyone else on the team. Because you've shown incredible resilience in the face of challenging circumstances. And because I believe you're hungry to prove something." He wasn't wrong. "When do we start?" The next few months were a blur of activity. By day, I continued my work at NexTech. By night, I helped Mark build Quantum Solutions from the ground up. We worked out of a tiny office, living on coffee and takeout, but we were creating something revolutionary. I didn't tell my family anything about it. They didn't deserve to know. A year passed. NexTech's stock price began to climb as the market recognized the value of their AI technology. Every time I saw the share price tick up, I calculated my losses. $1 million, $5 million, $10 million. My brother launched and failed at 3 more startups during this time, each one burning through more of my parents' money. But they never lost faith in him, never questioned his judgment the way they had questioned mine. Then came the day that changed everything. I was in a meeting with potential investors for Quantum Solutions when my phone started buzzing. Text after text from my family members. "Have you seen the news? Oh my God, Sophia, call us immediately." I excused myself and checked the headlines. NexTech had just announced a major breakthrough in their AI technology. The stock had jumped 40% in a single day. My original shares would have been worth $15 million. By the end of that week, the value had tripled again. My parents finally called. "Sweetheart," my mother's voice was honey sweet. "We've been thinking. Maybe we were too hasty with those shares. But you're doing well at that company, right? Maybe you could get more shares. Your brother has this amazing new business idea." I let out a laugh that had no humor in it. "Actually, Mom, I have some news of my own." "Oh? I'm leaving NexTech. Starting my own company, actually. We just secured our first round of funding." There was a pause. "Why didn't you tell us? We could have helped. Your brother has so much experience with startups." "No," I cut her off. "I don't need any help, especially not from my family." I hung up before she could respond. Later that evening, as I sat in Quantum Solutions' office reviewing our latest AI models, Mark stopped by my desk. "Big day," he said, showing me his phone. On the screen was a confirmation from our lawyers. The investment round was closed. We had raised $50 million in seed funding. I smiled, thinking of my old NexTech shares. Sometimes the universe has a sense of irony. What I didn't know then was that this was just the beginning. Because what none of them realized, not my parents, not my brother, not even Mark, was that I had discovered something in our AI research, something that would make NexTech's breakthrough look like child's play. And this time, no one would be able to take it away from me. The discovery happened at 3:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. I had been reviewing our AI models for the 100th time when I noticed something unusual in the neural network's behavior, a pattern that shouldn't have been possible according to current theoretical frameworks. After you left, I called Mark. We need to move up the timeline, I said. My brother's sniffing around. It's only a matter of time before he tries something. Are you sure we're ready? We have to be. 2 weeks later, we made our announcement. Quantum Solutions had developed the world's first truly autonomous AI system. The demonstration was flawless. Our AI solved complex problems in real time, demonstrated creative thinking, and showed clear signs of self-directed learning. The tech world exploded. Our stock, which had been trading at $40 per share, shot up to $400 in a single day. By the end of the week, it hit $1,200. My stake in the company, which I had protected fiercely after the NexTech incident, was worth over $300 million. The media attention was intense. Every news outlet wanted interviews. Every tech blog dissected our technology, and inevitably, they dug into my background. The story of how my family had stolen my NexTech shares became public knowledge. Reporters calculated what those shares would have been worth. Articles contrasted my success with my brother's string of failures. Then came the lawsuit. My parents, apparently advised by David, filed a legal claim against me. They argued that as my parents, they were entitled to a share of Quantum Solutions because they had supported and guided my career. The lawsuit was ridiculous, of course. Their lawyers knew it. My lawyers knew it. But that wasn't the point. The point was to create leverage, to force me to negotiate. I sat in my lawyer's office, reading their settlement proposal. They wanted 20% of my shares in Quantum Solutions. Don't even think about it, my lawyer advised. This case has no merit. They're just trying to pressure you. I thought about all the family dinners where they had dismissed my ideas, all the times they had praised David's latest scheme while ignoring my actual achievements, the day they had stolen my shares without a second thought. Schedule a meeting, I said. I want to face them. The meeting was set for the following week in our lawyer's conference room. My parents arrived first, then David swaggered in with his attorney. Sophia. My mother stretched out her arms as if expecting a hug. We've missed you so much. I remained seated. Let's skip the pretense. Why are you doing this? Because we're family, my father said, as if that explained everything. We want to be part of your success. Like you were part of my success with NexTech? I pulled out a folder. I brought something to show you. I placed 3 documents on the table. The first was a bank statement showing the transfer of my NexTech shares. The second was a report detailing how David had lost that money in his failed crypto platform. The third was a recent valuation of Quantum Solutions. Those NexTech shares you stole would be worth $50 million today, I said quietly. But that's nothing compared to this. I tapped the Quantum Solutions valuation. My stake in this company is worth over $300 million. And you think you deserve a piece of it? We're your parents, my father insisted. We raised you, educated you. And then you betrayed me. I cut him off. You stole my shares because David convinced you his latest scheme couldn't fail, just like all his other schemes couldn't fail. David started to protest, but I silenced him with a look. I brought something else. I pulled out one final document. This is a transcript of a conversation between David and one of our junior developers last week. He tried to bribe her for information about our AI technology. The color drained from David's face. Industrial espionage is a serious crime, I continued. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to withdraw this lawsuit. You're going to stop trying to contact me. And you're going to stay far away from my company. Or what? David challenged. Or I'll turn this transcript over to the FBI. And then we'll see how many investors back your next startup when you're under federal investigation. The silence in the room was deafening. My mother started crying. My father looked like he'd aged 10 years. David just stared at the table, his arrogance finally shattered. Sophia, my father said quietly, we only wanted what was best for you. No, I stood up. You wanted what was best for David. You always did. But it doesn't matter anymore. I succeeded despite you, not because of you. I walked to the door, then turned back one last time. Oh, and one more thing. NexTech called yesterday. They're interested in a merger with Quantum Solutions. I smiled. Ironic, isn't it? Those worthless shares you stole, they're going to end up being mine again anyway, along with the whole company. I left them sitting there, my mother's sobs fading behind me. 1 year later, I stood on a stage in front of hundreds of people, announcing the successful merger of NexTech and Quantum Solutions. Our combined AI technology was revolutionizing everything from healthcare to climate science. My family didn't attend the announcement. I heard they had moved to another city after David's latest venture collapsed. My mother still sent occasional emails, but I never replied. Some might call it harsh, but I had learned an important lesson. Sometimes the people who should support you the most are the ones you need to protect yourself from the most. In my office, I kept one reminder of the past, my old NexTech employee badge. Not to dwell on what was stolen from me, but to remember what I had built in its place. Sometimes losing everything is just the beginning of building something better. Mark stopped by my office after the merger announcement. Happy, he asked. I looked out at the city skyline, thinking about how far I'd come from that day when I discovered my shares were gone. You know what? I am. For the first time, I really am. Because success isn't just about making money or proving people wrong. It's about building something meaningful, something that's truly yours. And no one could take that away from me, not anymore.